Namo Amida Buddha. Question by Reverend Zoikin Inagaki. Quote, I wonder if your temple is purely Jodo Shinshu or Zen or a combination of both. I'm in favor of seeing a combination of both or a new way of Buddhism. End quote. Answer. My temple, that is Amidaji, is strictly Jodo Shinshu. I am strongly against any combination between Jodo Shinshu and Zen or Jodo Shinshu and anything else. As Shinran or Rennyo did not make any combination, I myself will make none. We are ignorant, unenlightened beings, and so we do not have the authority nor the wisdom to play with various Dharma gates or create a new way of Buddhism, as you say. I even think that this is very dangerous and leads people into confusion. We, as priests and teachers, should try to be as simple as possible so that even the illiterate can understand the call of Amida and have a simple faith in him. We live in times of great confusion in the international Sangha, with various clerics and scholars teaching many wrong views, like the Pure Land is here and now, or in our minds, or describing Amida as a metaphor, a fictional character, etc. And this makes ordinary people to depart from true birth in the Pure Land. To add more to this big mountain of confusion, like mixing Jodo Shinshu with Zen, is something I will never do. My goal is to escape samsara as quickly as possible and to help others escape it as quickly as possible. Without the Primal Vow, there is no chance of doing this. And in the Primal Vow, there is no mention of anything else than entrusting ourselves to Amida Buddha, say his name in faith, and wish to be born in his Pure Land. Thus, Amidaji is a temple which limits itself to the Primal Vow. Question. Is it okay for a Nembutsu devotee to also practice various Buddhist or non-Buddhist meditation techniques and mantras as a means to calm one's mind or because of various positive effects these might have in one's daily life? Answer. No, it is not okay. Your mind will never be calm. Please learn to live with this. Life as an unenlightened person is hard, and there is nothing you can do to change this. So just say the Nembutsu of faith in Amida and wish to be born in his Pure Land after death. If you want to busy your mind with something until you die, then say Nembutsu as often as possible. Say it many times and concentrate on it. Sometimes your mind might become calmer if you focus on Nembutsu, even if calming the mind is not the goal of Nembutsu. When we have this precious gift given by Amida Buddha to us, this unparalleled gift, this supreme gift, why mix it with anything else? Why think it is not enough? And why running here and there to various practices? So just say the Nembutsu of faith and let your changing mind be a changing mind. Let the thoughts come and go. Let your karma be as it is. Let there be life and let there be death. In short, be as you are. When you are well, say the Nembutsu. When you feel bad or alone or afraid, say the Nembutsu. Take refuge in Amida Buddha anytime, any place, or in whatever state of mind you are. This is my heart advice. Do not distance yourself away from Amida because you feel good or bad, but always think of his presence and rely on him. Of course, if you are ill, take whatever medicine is available. Let us say that you may use some breathing techniques or mental and physical relaxation exercises which does not contain any spiritual or religious elements. But in spiritual and religious matters, say the Nembutsu of faith exclusively. Do not resort to any other spiritual and religious help, assistance, practice from inside or outside the Buddha Dharma, no matter what promises the proponents of these practices have given to you. Various spiritual practices from inside or outside the Buddha Dharma contain specific mental states or mental attitude that one needs to cultivate in order to reach a certain mundane or supramundane goal. But if you wish to be in agreement with the Primal Vow of Amida Buddha, then do not busy yourself with anything that is not exclusively related to saying the name in faith and aspiring to be born in the Pure Land. Question. But would a mother who unconditionally loves her child prevent them from seeking alleviation from their sufferings by resorting to whatever means that have proven to be effective in this regard? Would she rebuke them for so doing, since it is known that various meditation techniques can be used against physical suffering? I doubt it. If she indeed unconditionally loved her children, she would act in their best interests, which certainly is not suffering. And if she can help them to no longer suffer only after their death, she would let them find other means in this very life. Otherwise, she would not be a good mother. Answer. The matter is wrongly addressed here. My previous answer is not denying the unconditional love of Amida, but Amida is not acting beyond the karmic law of cause and effect, and exactly inside this law of cause and effect, he indicated the cause for us to be born in his Pure Land. These causes are mentioned in his Primal Vow. If you entrust to him, say his name, and wish to be born there, then you are born in his land. So at the mental or heart level, it must be this exclusive faith, this exclusive saying of the name, and this exclusive wish to go there. But if one is busy with praying to gods or doing various mantras to feel good, which automatically relate him with other mundane or supramundane beings which are masters of those mantras, or doing meditations that imply cultivation of a certain spiritual and religious attitude of mind, which is not that of reliance on Amida or saying Amida's name, or which imply directly or indirectly a relation with, or even faith in, various mundane or supramundane forces, then this might distance oneself from the Primal Vow. And I can never know how well established in Shinran one is, so as not to be led astray from the path by spending too much time concentrating his mind not on Nembutsu, but on various practices. The mind of people are like monkeys and always jump here and there, inventing reasons for doing so. Especially this mind does not accept its own mortality, and is always looking for ways to escape from it or prolonging life by spiritual or religious means. But let us remember that Master Tan Luan of our tradition burned his Taoist text, which contained meditations and various methods for permanent health and long life, when he converted to the Pure Land teachings. This should make us think. Also, why not cultivating the attitude of Rennyo Shonin implied in this passage? Quote, the burden of one's karma is lessened by the compassionate power of Buddha Amida for those who are faithful in Nembutsu. This is called a burden is lessened. Whatever illness befalls an Nembutsu devotee, that misfortune is the result of residual karma. He should think that although he was supposed to receive a heavy burden, the compassionate power of Buddha Amida lessened the burden. Buddha Amida eliminates our burden of evil karma and enables us to attain birth in the land of ultimate bliss, the great religious goal. There is no reason not to believe that Buddha Amida can prolong our short life and lessen our illness in daily life. End quote. So let us be aware that we suffer because of our karma. Let us go to doctors and take whatever medicine necessary. But at the heart or mind level, spiritual and religious level, always continue in the Nembutsu of faith, for our burden will be lessened as much as possible by Amida Buddha if we rely exclusively on him. When they themselves were ill, when their followers were ill, our masters, Honen, Shinran, Rennyo, etc., never recommended that the devotee do meditations or other techniques, but continued to rely on Amida. They did not accept any other spiritual or religious medicine except the medicine of Nembutsu. Question. You say meditation is useless, but what if someone were to tell you, yes, I know meditation is useless for attainment of enlightenment in Mappo, the last Dharma age, but I do not do it for that reason. I do it for the neurological benefits that are proven by science. What would you reply then? Answer. I already explained something on this matter in my previous answer. Read it carefully. As I said there, if you are ill, take whatever medicine is available. Let us say that you may use some breathing techniques or mental and physical relaxation exercises which do not contain any spiritual or religious elements, but in spiritual and religious matters, say the Nembutsu of faith exclusively. Generally speaking, various meditations imply various states of mind to be developed. If those states of mind to be cultivated make you depart from clinging to Amida's sleeve, as Rennyo said, for from focusing your attention on Amida Buddha, then don't do it. If they contain some religious elements related with various divine figures or symbols outside of the Buddha Dharma, don't do it. If they imply relying on other Buddhas than Amida, don't do it too. I'm sure that Honen, Shinran, and Rennyo knew about various practices for health in the Japanese Buddhism. They also knew about Yakushi Nyorai and the benefits of chanting religious formulas associated with him. And they also became sick from time to time. However, they never quit the Nembutsu of faith, nor mixed it with those practices. They used medicine and took treatment prescribed by doctors, but never did anything religious or spiritual for healing. Of course, again, not all breathing techniques or relaxation methods contain religious or spiritual elements. So I'm not against such techniques if they do not fall in the category explained above. But Zazen, for example, no matter why you practice it, cannot truly accompany the Nembutsu of faith, and I explain this in my next answer. So, it depends on each person. Some people may claim that they only practice this or that meditation for health reasons, when in fact they are unconsciously bored with the Nembutsu. Not all those who try various meditations are really practicing them for health benefits only. I can tell you from my experience as a priest that many people I meet and who become interested in meditation, even just for relaxation, as they said, gradually departed and estranged themselves from the Nembutsu. Human minds are unpredictable and unstable, and it does not like to stay in a single place, especially if it is not well established in faith. After all, every sincere follower should know where is the red line between relaxation and health and spiritual and religious practice. Just look into your mind and decide for yourself what to do, and be careful to be in accord with the Primal Vow. Nothing is more important than this. As Honen advised, do whatever does not hinder you from saying the Nembutsu. Abandon whatever hinders you in saying the Nembutsu. Many people nowadays bow to science like to an all-powerful and supreme God, but in samsara, and especially now in this Mapo age, nothing is supreme and all-knowing, including what nowadays people call science. Whenever somebody wants to argue about something, he or she says it was proven by science. But what some scientists agree upon, others may disagree. I even read some articles which support the idea that meditation is not always good for health and that it may even lead to mental problems in sensible people. This is why I personally recommend going on a trip, drinking a beer with friends, do some regular physical exercise, enjoy time with your dog, etc. It is a lot safer than the immense meditation market we have nowadays with its many happiness instructors. I personally would think twice before entrusting my mind to any meditation or yoga instructor, no matter what the reason, because mind is something too deep for an unenlightened person to know in its depths. Question: why do you think we cannot mix Nembutsu with Zazen? Answer: in Zazen, one simply dwells in awareness and lets go of any thought that appears in one's mind. Even if the thought of Amida and of saying his name appears, the Zen practitioner will simply let it go. He does not reject it, but he also does not embrace it either. However, this attitude is not in accord with the teaching of our school, where we cling to Amida's sleeves, take refuge in Amida, and say his name in faith. So a true Jodo Shinshu follower who entrusts to Amida cannot engage in the practice of Zazen, because in the very moment he refuses to say the Nembutsu, or lets go of the thought of Amida, he in fact abandons the Pure Land path. Similarly, in the very moment a Zen practitioner takes refuge in Amida and says the Nembutsu of faith, he abandons the Zen path or the Zen attitude of mind. At the level we are at now, as unenlightened ordinary beings, we cannot truly practice the Pure Land path and the Zen path at the same time. If we try doing this, we do not get any benefit from either one. As both paths were taught by Shakyamuni, both are true gates to the same ultimate reality, or Dharmakaya, but they contain different approaches to it. The situation is like walking or traveling by boat or by plane. One cannot walk and fly or swim at the same time, so one must choose one path versus the other. In Jodo Shinshu, we rely on the Primal Vow, which means that we entrust to Amida say his name in faith, and wish to be born in his Pure Land after death. In Zen, practitioners rely on the specific posture, breathing, and attitude of mind they call Zazen. Shinran and Rennyo, the most important teachers of our school, as well as Honen Shonin, relied only on the Primal Vow, while Dojin, the founder of Soto Zen, practiced only Zazen. I have never heard of Shinran, Rennyo, or Honen taking a break from Nembutsu or from the contemplation or study of the Pure Land path for practicing Zazen or any other Buddhist or non-Buddhist meditation. I think we should never forget their example and rely only on the Nembutsu of faith. Namo Amida Butsu. Here is a comment made by someone who tried to compare Zen with Jodo Shinshu. Quote, in other traditions, to gain mind is also deprecated. In Soto Zen, the ideal state is the Mushotoku, no gain mind, achieved by growing Bodhyashan or bodhicitta. The practice of Shinkantaza in Soto Zen is not successful if not just sit. There is no egoic intent to achieve something in Shakyamuni. End quote. After saying the above, he also compared the koan in Rinzai Zen with what Shinran called giving up to any calculations. Then he mentioned this: I would say that any practitioner of any Mahayanist school is practicing with an obsessive mind for results is in error. This was my answer. As long as they are not enlightened, sentient beings will always have an obsessive mind. Only a Buddha can just sit in Shikantaza, or any other person is just an imitator. Also, only the Buddha can be without ego, sit without ego, and do whatever he wants without any personal goal. Thus, only a Buddha is truly Mushotoku. My advice to unenlightened sentient beings is not to lose their time in vain with useless talks about Shikantaza, Mushotoko, etc., but entrust themselves to Amida Buddha and wish to be born in his Pure Land. Yes, they should wish to be born there. They should have this goal in mind. In Jodo Shinshu, we do not start with the end of the journey, but with what we are here and now. Here and now, in this human form so hard to obtain, we cannot escape desires, so we should simply desire birth in that realm of Amida. Here and now, we should embrace the duality of the Saviour, Amida Buddha, who manifested a pure land out of compassion for us, while still dwelling in Mushotoku, as he does not need anything for himself and those to be saved, that is us, unenlightened beings. Only after we reach that enlightened realm we will understand Shikantaza and Mushotoku. In this life we can sit all day long and have a good posture, but we will never just sit. Amida's helping hand, his primal vow, has been here since he became a Buddha, many eons ago, but some people prefer to keep talking about things beyond their knowing, like Mushotoku, Shikantaza, etc., when they should just accept Amida's help and entrust their karmic destiny to him. The Nembutsu of faith should not be compared with just sitting, Mushotoku, or whatever it is said on the Zen path. The Nembutsu of faith is the only way for ordinary people like us to reach the stage of no desire, no personal goal, no ego, and the complete capacity to help all beings. One can have faith but still remain an ego-centered person until one is actually born in the Pure Land and attain Buddhahood there, which is perfectly normal and acceptable on the Nembutsu path. So, people of faith are not Mushotoku here and now, as they have various desires, delusions, and blind passions. They also have worldly goals and might make various errors in both their daily and religious lives. By no calculation, Shinran meant that he gave up to any idea of merit in attaining birth in the Pure Land. This does not mean that he himself did not wish to be born there. In fact, he had this goal in mind. He didn't pretend to be Mushotoku in this life. He wished to be born in the Pure Land, just he knew he would not go there by his own understanding or by his own practice. I'm absolutely against making any comparison between the Zen Dharma Gate and the Pure Land Dharma Gate. This is why any discussion or debate on Zen versus Jodo Shinshu will not be encouraged in the Amidaji Sangha. Amidaji Temple in Sangha is a place dedicated exclusively to the Pure Land Dharma Gate as taught by Shinran and Rennyo. If you truly wish to understand Jodo Shinshu, you have to empty your cup or mind of words and concepts like mushotoku, just sitting, etc. Abandon them and simply entrust to Amida, say his name and faith, and wish to be born in his land. Then, after you are born there, you can truly sit as much as you want, while also go anywhere in many forms to help all beings. You will be able to go without actually moving, as true Buddhas do. But as long as you are not a Buddha yet, you cannot play with both the Zen path and the Nembutsu or Pure Land path. Your unenlightened mind will gain no benefit from comparing them. Only a Buddha can understand the myriad Dharma gates. Namo Amida Buddha.